Hello students. In our previous session, I had introduced the poem The Darkling Thrush to you. We had done explanation of stanza 1. Today, we shall do the explanation of stanza 2 and stanza 3 with related literary devices and references. By the end of this video, you will be able to understand what makes the speaker sad and the shift in the tone of the poem from the first two stanzas to the last two stanzas of the poem. We've already read that the speaker is outside or a barren landscape, while the rest of the world is comfortably seated inside, warmed by the household fires. The second stanza is actually the crux of the poem. Let's start. Open your Reverie textbooks, page number 6, stanza number 2. The land's sharp features seemed to me the century's corpse outlined. His gripped the cloudy canopy, the wind his death lament. The ancient pearls of germ and birth was shrunken hard and dry, and every spirit upon earth seemed fervorless as I. Students, let us discuss the meanings of difficult words first. As you can see here, the century here refers to the 19th century. Corpse means dead body. Outlent means laid out for burial. Crypt is a tomb. Canopy, here it is regarded as a tomb. Actually, these are the clouds that are hanging in the sky. Death lament. Lament is when you are showing mourning. So, wind appears to be mourning over death. Pulse means life force. Germ, state from which things can grow. Shrunken, hard and dry. It means slowed down considerably. Here we come to know that the 19th century is about to come to an end. The speaker, who is looking at the landscape outside, he can see land's sharp features, that is the hills, mountains, the rocks. All these seemed to him like the dead body of the 19th century, which was lying out for burial. The clouds above that appear to form a canopy are like the tomb of the 19th century, and the wind that blows seems to be mourning over the death of the century. The sound of the wind has been considered as its death lament. Next, the speaker feels the pulse of germ and birth, or you can say the rhythm to reproduce and grow, has shrunken or slowed down considerably. Every spirit, it refers to all the people, the spirit upon earth seemed fervorless or without energy, or you can also use the word listless, just like the speaker himself. To speaker, every creature on the earth appears to be listless. Let us now do the literary devices of stanza 2. Land's sharp features. These land's sharp features, they are a metaphor, appear like sharp features of a corpse, of the dead body. Century, again you can see it is beginning with a capital letter, so the poet has personified century. Century is said to be having a dead body. Also, it is a metaphor. Here, the poet has compared the century to a dead body, so you can also call it a metaphor. In the next line, you can see, crypt the cloudy canopy, there is repetition of the sound k. the consonant sound k of the letter C. Therefore, we have alliteration. Also, this is an example of metaphor because the poet has compared the clouds overhead to a tomb. The comparison without using as or like is called a metaphor, so this is a metaphor. And in the last line you can see, second last line, every spirit upon earth seemed fervorless as I. This is actually an example of synecdoche. Students, synecdoche is a figure of speech in which one part of something is made to represent the whole or vice versa. So here the word spirits actually is referring to all the people. Therefore, it is an example of synecdoche. Now students, in this stanza 3, you will observe a change in the tone of the speaker. Till now, the speaker is full of sadness. But in this stanza, when you will read, you will come to know that the poet is expressing some hope through a bird. The bird is a thrush. This is the image of thrush. So, let's read the stanza. At once a voice arose among the bleak twigs overhead, in a full-hearted even song of joy illimited. An aged thrush, frail, gaunt and small, in blast beruffled plume, had chosen thus to fling his soul upon the growing gloom. Note down the meanings of difficult words in your books. First of all, bleak. Bleak means dull and dark. Twigs are small leafless branches of a tree. Full-hearted means whole-hearted. Even song is a song sung in the evening. Illimited means unlimited. Aged means old. Frail means weak or feeble. Gaunt means thin. Blast is very strong gust of wind. You can refer to it as a storm. And beruffled means disordered. So blast beruffled means disordered and battered by a storm. The plumes are the feathers of the bird. So the bird actually has faced problem. His plumes are disordered and battered by the storm. Fling his soul means sing with great vigor and energy, and gloom means darkness. Now see here, the speaker says that he hears a voice among the bleak twigs overhead, the dark twigs overhead, and it is actually a song of joy. It is an even song because it is sung in the evening and it is sung wholeheartedly. Who is singing the song? It is actually an aged thrush that is weak, thin and small. Its plumes are badly disordered in a blast or a storm. Yet it has chosen to sing with full vigor, full energy in this time when it is full of darkness. Even the darkness is growing. So there is a change in the mood. Whereas in the first and second stanza, you feel that the poet is referring to the death of an era, the old way of life, the virtues, the way the people used to live. It has been adversely affected by the scientific technologies, urbanization, industrialization, etc. But in the third stanza, we see hope in the song of the thrush. Now there is no figure of speech in this. So this brings us to the end of today's session. Now open your workbook on Reverie. Go through the explanation of stanzas 2 and stanza 3 and plan the explanation of stanza 4.